Okay with your work?
What's that?
The missus has no respect for the show right now. We're leaving all this in. If you're wondering at home, Garrison's significant other is I don't think Garrison probably didn't tell him that, or tell her, excuse me, not him, her, that we're recording. All right, I'm prolonging. We back? Nope, we're not back yet. We're keeping this all in. All right, welcome back to another episode 64, I believe, of the Scarlet and Blue Show. Still haven't figured out my office, still haven't figured out my studio, but we'll get there. Garrison, nice Vanderbilt shirt.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shirts. It's really comfortable, actually. So I like wearing it. I was thinking about wearing my I found one of my old Michigan State shirt, an old one I was gonna wear, but
Yeah, well, you're not a Michigan State fan, so that would make
I'm
any sense.
a Michigan State Hoops fan.
No, you're not.
I am.
No, you're not. We've already talked about this. It's nonsense. All right, we got some stuff on the docket today. Never a slow moment. Garrison, you want to kick it off with the Al Borgess comments? Yeah, you were tweeting about that today, and it's topical, top of mind. So
Yeah.
figure we can jump right in.
Well, so I was listening to WKTV with Sam Webb, and because I like he is an insider. As much as I rat on him, I do like to get information. That's a good source of information. So
That's a hot take, Garrison. You do. Yeah, I know you. You do not like Sam Webb.
No, I don't. I think he gyps you guys out of your money for some wild takes sometimes. I think he's a fanboy masquerading as a journalist, but I do respect him. Like for the information he gets.
Okay.
But in there he said he had a conversation with Al Borges. Al Borges, of course, being one of I think was it Jim Harbaugh's first coordinator, was it?
Brady Hoke.
Brady Hoke, okay. And so he watched the film on Alex Orji, the practice film. He was watching practice film with Sam Webb. He said to him, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, but I think I'm pretty accurate in what I'm saying. He says that when you're calling plays for Alex Orji and you're scheming up the offense, you have to understand that he's gonna miss a lot of throws that he's supposed to make. He's gonna do that, and and then he said something else. And by the way, on top of that, he said he knows the offense just as well as McCarthy, but it's the mechanics, And I think that's what a lot of Ohio State fans have said, other fan bases have said, even some Michigan fans, but a lot of Michigan fans, of course, and for obvious reasons, they want to feel good about the quarterback situation. But then he also said this about the O line, and if I can, I can't even pull it up right here, Bryce, but talking about the possible struggles of the O line, and Bryce on this show, I have been very on top of that. I have continuously said that, and well, I want to point this out to you here. So Miles Henn, I took Pre about this because he was an all conference player. He's an all conference player in the Big Ten, and he started multiple games, like a lot of games. But Miles Henn has 19 starts. He got benched last year. That includes
his years at Stanford.
Yes, and he got benched last year. Why? Because he was a problem on the O line. He was a problem. Greg Crippen has never started. El Hadi has 3 starts. I've said on here that I think El Hadi is going to be really good, so I'm not really worried about him. But in terms of continuity, which has been a big word for you guys in Ann Arbor.
Yes.
And then Gentry has never started, but he's played, and against Penn State, he looked like crap. And so that's where I understand Jerome Moore is the coach, the head coach, but he's a O-line guru. But these are all things that I have been saying for weeks, months. And I'm happy that I am finally vindicated by Al Borges on this. Because I want to know, what are your thoughts on those comments?
I would say first off, shout out to you for just ear to the ground, finger on the pulse with all things Michigan. Look at this guy. It's June
There's
and
love and
he
hate, and there's
is,
hate and love.
yeah, and there's clearly some admiration and respect, and I appreciate that. Yes. Yeah, no, Garrison, I think to go into the Alex Orgy comments, yeah, he's got a lot to prove. Not because expectations are sky high, but because he has been in the offense. He didn't look overly great in the spring game. And if you go back to when we talked about the spring game, it wasn't ones and twos. It was one, twos, threes, and fours all mixed together.
Mhm.
And so I don't feel comfortable grading the quarterbacks on that performance. You go back to some of his, like he had the runs against Ohio State, had the runs against Washington, or was it Bama? I don't know. He had one where he had the opportunity to throw the ball away against Alabama, and he didn't. Took the 3-yard loss, I think it was. And so yeah, the tape doesn't look overly spectacular. Just he's got some things to prove. And I think Borges' assessment is correct. Even though he didn't have a ton of success as the OC at Michigan, I
Mhm.
think his assessment is correct. He's going to miss some throws and probably not make the right reads. Probably maybe look at one, maybe two, and then run. And I think if that's your strategy, that's easy to coach against.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think it's astute analysis, man. I think the quarterback position is one, and we've talked about this, that needs to be. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be really interesting. And with Texas week 2, you got, and I think you tweeted this out yesterday. The game against Fresno, like that's not, you're not playing, you know,
Yeah.
Mercy Health out of Detroit. Like you're playing is Fresno. Fresno's a good team. And it's a good program. And
Yeah.
that's where Kalen DeBoer came from. And so
okay with your work?
What's that?
the missus has no respect for the show right now. We're leaving all this in. If you're wondering at home, Garrison's significant other is I don't think Garrison probably didn't tell him that, or tell her, excuse me, not him, her, that we're recording. All right. I'm prolonging. We back? Nope, we're not back yet. We're keeping this all in. Oh, and she must have jumped on Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Jeez, oh Pete, get it together over there, man.
I'm sorry, Bryce, but you were rudely interrupted there.
I
Can you
was.
please can you please continue on what you were saying? And actually, could you backtrack a little bit so I can hear what you said? I apologize for that.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right. Tell her she's forgiven.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we were talking about quarterbacks, right? So,
Yeah.
yep, I'm excited. I'm gonna stick to it. I love our room, but there's some things to be worried about. And then the offensive line,
This is
a
what
lot
this
of
is
new,
the one I'm very, very, very happy
yeah.
about.
No,
Well,
well,
it's
I
because
don't like it when you're happy.
I feel vindicated. I really do. Because no one wanted to hear me. No one wanted to hear me say this and just be. Yeah, go ahead, Bryce.
No, I think so. Greg Crippen has been waiting in the wanes.
Hmm.
Vistardis in after 2021 season, he left. Andy Vistardis left. Crippen was there. He came in with JJ, and then Olu came in, and then Greg Nugent came in last year, and he got beat out. Maybe I think he got beat out by pretty good guys. So
Yeah.
was that a knock on him? Maybe not necessarily, but I think it's his time. Same offense. We all know how the center is the quarterback of the offensive line, so you got to know everything, make the reads, make the calls. It's his time now, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to see what he does because I think he's gonna get the opportunity. I think Miles Hinton, yeah, that was an interesting one. I mean, Ladarius Henderson took his spot last year. Did Miles lose it? Did Henderson? I probably a mix of both. Henderson came in, played all right, and then you had Trente Jones right there too. He was a top 100 composite recruit coming out of high school. And so I think he's got the skills to do it. He's got to put it together. So I don't think I'm worried about him, but I think he is one that you're gonna have to watch. And then
Mm-hmm.
I like Gentry, man. Gentry, highly rated recruit, has been in the system for a bit.
You remember him in that Penn State game, do you not?
Are you thinking of Carson
Was
Barnhart?
that Carson Barnhart?
I think you're thinking of Carson
No,
Barnhart.
because
He's
your
gone
tackles
now.
are okay. Okay,
Barnhart
thank you.
played tackle. So you're thinking of Barnhart, but
Yeah.
Gentry really hasn't had a ton of meaningful snaps.
Okay.
He's going to get his chance. And then, yeah, Al Hadid is one that you and I both are pretty excited about. So,
I'm
yeah,
not
fresh
excited. I'm not
faces.
excited about him, but I think he's a good player.
You think, yes, yes.
And I'm sorry, Bryce. This is what he said. He said that when you're making this game for the team and you're calling the plays, you have that pass protection is going to be a concern. That's what he said. Pass protection is going to be a concern. And since we're on the conversation, basically, I think I put it on there. Let's have a small conversation about your guys' offense. I was in a space like yesterday from Jay. He's a Bama fan, but we were talking to a Michigan fan there, and it was actually really cool. Actually, very calm and everything. I love spaces like that where it's just ball talk. But we he was talking about we were talking about the Texas game. And he said that he believes that it's gonna be close in the beginning. The Michigan fans said it's gonna be close in the beginning, and then he thinks in the second half you guys are gonna run away with it. And I asked him, "What makes you think that?" And I said, "You replace 10 of your 11 starters on offense. You replace the whole O line. We already went over the O line, over the last. We have to do it again. You're bringing wide you all the wide receivers. None of them have been starters.
Yeah.
They're undersized. You're a running team. Do we know if they can block? Um, you talk about a running back room. Now I think Ben Hall and Mullins, they're big guys. I think they can have some success. I think that it can't get any worse than what Edwards did last year. So he's going to be better this year. My
Such a
question
hater.
is, but my question is, what's that look like for him with the new O line? When you
Sure.
talk about your quarterback, can he go through the reads? Can he get the ball there? Can he manipulate the pocket? And I said, well, I don't. Where my questions are for the because where that Texas game is very very vital. When you get to Oregon and you play, especially Ohio State, you're gonna be at your best. And that's the reason why the game is at the end of the year. I don't understand, and maybe you can help me with this. I don't understand why so many Michigan fans are, I guess, I don't want to say excited, but are super positive about their offense when in reality, if Ohio State was going through this, Bryce, and we had to replace 10 of our 11 stars on offense, I think you guys would just talk down on it. You would. And
We
we
sure
have
would.
way more talent than you on offense. I think we have backups that could start for you. So yeah, I guess what do you think
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah, no, I
I think I'm coming across very logical here, very
you are
fair.
coming in. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's more fun when you're irrational. I I think so. Alex Orji's got to. He's going to have to make throws in the game, like against a team like Texas. You have to make throws. You can't run the ball all game, and you can't get away with trickery. It can't just be play action. Dunks down. Uh, what does they say? Dip and dunk. Whatever. Short passes, right? Short passes, screen
Yeah.
passes. He's got to make throws. He's got to make throws on 3rd and 8. He's got to make throws on 3rd and 10. He's going to have to do it. The quarterback's going to have to do that. Whoever's starting
Mm-hmm.
quarterback for Michigan. So do we have some guy who can do that? I think so. But is that something I'm overly confident on? No, no. So I think that has to be, you're not going to beat Texas. Texas is too talented. I know they lost their defensive tackles. And so
Mm-hmm.
you could say, oh, we can just run against them. I think there's too much talent on that team and they're going to be good. And so you can't just get away with the boa constrictor offense. Now, Penn State's defense is pretty good, and we got away with that.
But their
And our
offense.
defense is stout.
But their offense. that's not
Yeah, but their
that's
offense is
that's
bad. Right,
yeah,
right.
that's
We
not
got bailed
Quinn.
out.
Yeah, Drew Aller ain't
Not
Quinn
Quinn
Ewers
Ewers.
and
No,
Steve Sarkisian ain't calling plays for them.
no. It's not James Franklin and Drew Aller. It's one of the most creative coaches on the offensive side of the ball, and
Yeah.
probably top 3 quarterback coming out next year.
Mm-hmm.
So No, dude, I don't know who's saying they're overly like super confident. Texas
So
game makes
the
me nervous. I think if
yeah,
you win that Texas game and then you lose to Oregon, Ohio State, I still think you have a shot at the playoff, which is pretty cool. But you'd want to see obviously a
yeah,
win. But week two, man, like week two, like
that's
your
so
offense
early.
has to be. I'm a
And,
little nervous. I'm gonna be
and
honest. I'm a little sweaty over here.
Our lives
something.
are a collection of experiences, moments of happiness or times of great loss. First homes, new babies, property loss, even heartache. Knowing that your insurance provider is always close by offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what
Tell
matters
you
to
Sweaty
what,
over
you.
here.
I'll tell you what, something that goes under the radar is that the how healthy as a team you guys have been for the last 3 years is not normal. And usually for teams, I mean, you see in the
Mm.
SEC a lot when guys get hurt. The tougher schedule you play, the more injuries you have because you're playing more games, you're playing longer, you're in the game more, and so I'm really interested in
That's a
seeing
good point,
that.
Garrison. Injuries are interesting. There's got to be metrics and analysis out there because
Mm-hmm.
we lost Zinter last year, top offensive player. We lost Blake Corum the year before, one of the top offensive players. But collectively, as a unit, how much of a loss
So
is
healthy.
that compared
And
to
maybe that has to do with your the trainer you had. That I give him a lot of that credit. I think
Herbert?
he's the best. Herbert, he's the best in the nation,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
he for you guys he was.
Well, we got his right hand
Mm.
man. Don't worry.
And I'll tell you something else that I'm very like that I brought up to them in that space and to the Michigan fan. I said, you know, if JJ because the magical number for Orgy has been 62%. That's what I've heard from a lot of people.
Mm.
If JJ McCarthy threw 62% last year, you didn't win the national. You wouldn't win the national championship. You're losing a few games. I think that gets under. Like, I don't think that Alex Orgy's uh, athleticism makes up for a 72 completion percentage. I don't think it does. And let me ask you: do you think if JJ McCarthy threw 62% last year, do you think you win the national championship?
Probably not.
And I don't think people understand 72 to 62 is a large drop off in percentage.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
you're talking about getting your degree and not getting your degree. like,
It's a good way to look at it.
that's what we're talking about. So I don't know. Like I said, actually I was listening to Menace to Sports with Zach and our guy Drew,
Yep.
and they gave a question, and I really want to ask you this: what's more likely, 8-4 or 12-0?
10-2.
I'm
It's a good question.
glad
I just you
because I can see both. I can see both for you guys. Like I don't like
yeah.
would it if everything happens that you guys want to happen, yeah, you can go 12-0. I can see you going 8-4. I know I've said on here, I said on Twitter, I think you guys are gonna run through USC, but is that a losable game? Yeah, yeah, it's a
Mm-hmm.
losable game for you guys. Um, I mean, in my perfect world, you lose to Fresno, and then we come on that next day, and I just
Yeah, we'd
that
have
would
no
be a
show that next day.
yeah, that would be unbearable.
No, I mean you got Texas, USC at home, and then you're at Washington. You got State at home. You got Oregon at home.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we don't play Penn State. I forgot about that. That's wild to me.
If
Then we
if
get
if they gave you guys Penn State, then I would say there's an agenda.
yeah, yeah, that would be cruel. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could see it happen, and you hope you don't drop one. Yeah, I love our defense and offense. Hopefully, you can figure it out. And I think Sharon Moore's shown creativity when he needs to. I
Mm-hmm.
thought he coached
Mm-hmm.
almost a perfect offensive game against you guys, and but that was like the opposite of what he called against Penn State. So we'll see, man. We'll
Yeah.
see. I want to go over your tweet too. I thought you had an interesting one over the grades
Oh, yeah.
What was one? We'll put it up here. But what
Hmm.
was one that most people objected to? Because B plus at QB feels high to me, but we can talk about it.
Okay. QB people, a few people thought
And by
that
the
was
way, this is
high.
Ohio's. This is Garrison's
Yeah.
position grades
And
at
I'll
Ohio
do,
State.
I'm doing Michigan's today. And then,
Boy.
and then probably sometime next week, I'll do an article on X and explain where I got those grades from for both. But I think, yeah, it was quarterback, O line, and safety. Those are the three I think most people didn't agree with. Our guy Darren, he thought I was basically dead on accurate with my, so I appreciate that, Darren.
Shout out
But
Darren.
so I gave quarterbacks a B plus, and this is the reason why. Um, Devin Brown and Will Howard, I think, are good football players. I actually think Devin Brown has a higher ceiling than Will Howard.
Agreed.
Yeah, he does. But I think that their floor is still really high. Will Howard's floor is very high. I, I I think that's fair to say. But then you talk about the depth. You go Lincoln Keenholz, who is the best athlete on our team. I don't think he's ever going to play at Ohio State, but I think Lincoln's a great culture guy. And then you're talking about Aaron Noland and Julian Saint. It's the deepest quarter. I'll put it this way: that is the deepest quarterback room in the country, bar none, easily. If you're saying that Ohio State's QB room is a B plus is too high, then tell me what you think about everyone else's. Like
So you're talking
I
about you're talking about the room as a whole.
yes,
We're
I'm
talking
talking
about the
about the depth.
ceiling and the upside
I
versus
think that
actual.
I think as a baseline they are a B plus. I think the ceiling could be very high, but the problem is that I don't think the ceiling is coming from Will Howard or Devin Brown. So
Sure, but for
I,
this
if
year,
if I took Julian Sain and Lincoln Keenholz and uh Aaron Nolan out of it, I'd probably make it a B minus. I'd probably make it a B minus. But I think the depth we're talking depth and who are those guys that are behind them.
mhm.
Like if Julian Sand and Aaron Nolan were let's say they're at Michigan, I think it would be very well known that once once Alex Orgy, Tuttle, or whoever's out of there, I think they would be in the running as a leaders, especially Julian Sand as the next quarterback of Michigan. Julian Sand next year is probably going to be the quarterback at Ohio State. There's a good chance of that.
Yeah,
Um,
if you're to ask me who from that room I would want slash take, Julian Sane would be the one because I think Aaron
mhm.
Nolan, Jaden Daniels, I think they're comparable. Could be one for one.
Where Julian Sand is different.
I think Julian Sane's probably a bit
Mm.
different. I think, and then I think, well, I don't know about Will Howard, and then Devin Brown can't speak it healthy, and Lincoln Keynotes is. I agree with you. So that would be one for sure. But
Mm.
are you at all worried that? What do you say to the people who say that Devin Brown isn't the one because he can't stay healthy?
That's me. But I
That is true.
that is me. But if he can stay healthy, who knows? Who knows? Uh, he has the tools, man. He's a leader. Um, he has shown that he's not going to shy away from competition. He could have left. Every single one of those quarterbacks in that quarterback room could have left. No one did. Not even Lincoln did. So I mean, what I would say to myself is that let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what Devin Brown looks like if he gets on the field. I'm pretty sure we'll see, in those first few games we'll see him a lot because we're gonna dog walk those teams. But that's what I would say to
Yeah,
them.
here's a theory I've been thinking about. And to go back to Devin Brown, Chris Drew's thing, his spiel, his opinion why he thinks Devin Brown is the guy,
Mm-hmm.
about his reputation at Corner Canyon, which is a Utah little powerhouse. I think that was interesting. I think there's a lot to be said there about the guys who've gone through
Yeah.
and them saying that this kid being Devin Brown, his upside potential is the highest. That's something to be said there. I have a theory though that I wonder this.
And Bryce, he was the number one overall recruit on all three. On three,
Yes.
he was the number one overall recruit there.
Do you think? All right, so let's replay last year.
Okay.
You guys had Notre Dame. Was that week 2 or week? No, it was 4. Week 4.
Week 4, which
You had Notre Dame
we
week
were very
4.
lucky about.
If Kyle McCord, because he played okay that game. Would you say he played great? Would you say he played bad?
I wouldn't say he played great, but I think on that last drive he was great.
So let's say though that defensive back picks that ball
Okay.
and returns it for 6, or Notre Dame goes. Well, they were up at that point. Yeah, you guys are driving to score. Do you and that after that game, people are maybe crying for Devin Brown. Devin Brown gets a shot. Do you think that with all is what the point I'm trying to get at? With all of the not cupcakes, easier schedule that you have the first 5 weeks, that's not really going to allow for the best quarterback to step up so that when you get to Oregon, you don't have the best guy getting reps because you've played inferior opponents.
I agree with you. I said this last year. I'm going to say it again. If Will Howard is named the quarterback of Ohio State, he is not losing that. He's not losing that spot. Now, I did get asked this yesterday. What would be what's Will Howard's leash? How long is it? Our first real competition is Iowa. You're facing one of the best secondaries with 2 of the best safeties in college football. Both are going to be first or second round picks.
That's a home.
You come in that.
Go ahead.
Yes. You go in that game, you throw 2 first half picks. I'm fine with pulling the plug. I'm fine with it. Because I'm very consistent on this. This is why I wouldn't be comfortable with a freshman playing. This is not a year that you squander. You have to at least get to the national championship. So, yeah, he's not. Yeah, you just can't lose that. You're not gonna lose it. Like it's I mean, somehow. I remember watching. What's his name? That he's the quarterback at Iowa.
Cade McNamara.
Yeah, I don't know how he lost. Like I don't think it's gonna be like that where you lose your position because you're just crap. Like I don't know how. I don't know how he lost that position in those games. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. And like I said, O-line. That was the number one. People didn't. I think I gave our O-line a B. Bryce, right here from Max Chadwick, top 10 O-line in college football coming into 2024. At number 6, you have Ohio State. Which I think and Michigan is not on this list, and rightfully so. They shouldn't be on this list.
Sure.
But listen, this is Ohio State's O-line second year together. Now, I think the right side is still a concern, but we've been over this plenty of times. We brought in a transfer. Yeah, he had snap troubles last year, but he's still one of the best blockers in college football. 3-year starter. I think giving Ohio State's O-line a B was fair. And just so you know, I'm giving Michigan the same thing. I'm giving them the same thing. I think that's a good basis to start from. And then safety. This is where some Ohio State fans disagreed with me. They thought the safety position should be an A+. No.
Starting safeties would be Proctor's gone, right?
Proctor's gone. It'll be Ransom and Downs. Ransom is not an A+.
Downs.
Ransom is not an A+ player. He's he's a B+ player to me. B+ player. I think the depth gives you an A. That's how I got the grade I got. Like, so I don't know how like how I gave running backs and corner A+. That goes without saying why those are A+.
Yeah.
It goes without you're talking about 3 draft picks in the first 2 rounds at corner.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
with insane depth. With insane depth.
Yeah. Great depth. I'm looking at the 2022 recruiting class for quarterbacks, and this is a year that has to be a big year for a lot of these guys. Drew Aller, number one. And I'm looking at 24/7. You're way more in tune with this. I like 24/7 because the site's easy to use, but what's the site?
I use On 3 and 247.
Okay. All right.
And,
So I'm not
even when I go to 247, I click on composite. I don't just want their rankings.
Right.
But even though I think ESPN and Rivals should be kicked out of it. But
all right. So yeah, looking at this then, all right, if you look at composite, Drew Aller is not number one. Clay, so you got Cade Klubnik at Clemson, Connor Wegman.
Big year for him. Big year for him.
Connor Wegman's got, I didn't say it's like a huge year, but I think he went down on injury last year, right?
Yep.
And then he got a new coach. Ty Simpson, Bama, and then Drew Aller for Walker Howard, who transferred to Ole Miss. He's not gonna play.
I don't get why people are so down on Drew Aller.
He just hasn't shown it. I think people talk about his ceiling, but he's got to show it.
It was his first year starting. Let me ask you a question. If I told you Alex Orji this upcoming season is going to throw 24 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Well, yeah, but Alex Orji wasn't the number one quarterback in the nation.
I know, but I'm asking you. Because remember I told you, once we're 3 years out, I don't care about recruiting rankings anymore. So if Alex Orji threw 24 touchdowns and 2 interceptions in his first year starting, what would you come on this show and say?
If he threw what?
24 touchdowns and 2 interceptions.
Is that what he threw last year?
That's what he had in his.
Wow.
Everyone, if a first-year quarterback throws 24 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and granted, mind you, they just brought in a new OC.
Yep.
We'll see. I think Drew. Like I would argue, Drew's first year. Like what was JJ's first year? No, Drew's first year was better than JJ's. I think as a quarterback it was, and he doesn't have the same help that JJ has. I think that's fair to say.
Well, I don't know about that.
At wide receiver, Michigan was better. At O-line, Michigan was better.
Yeah, well, Penn State had a first-round tackle.
Drew was asked to do more than JJ was.
Yeah. I mean, I think Drew didn't show up in the big games, which probably hurts him, and that's against Michigan, Ohio State.
Oh my gosh, no. But
like I said, Devin Brown is number 6.
Yep.
This is his year. He's got to show up. And then if you want to,
maybe if he gets on the field,
yes. At 28 and 30, you have Jaden Denegal and Alex Orji, the Michigan.
Say it again.
At the composite ranked 28 and 30.
What's that overall?
452, 493.
Oh, back to back. All right.
It's their year. Mm-hmm. So 2022 class has got to shine.
Speaking of recruiting, Bo Jackson will be a name. Well, Lamar Bo Jackson will be a name in Scarlet and Gray. Every Buckeye fan knows this. When it comes to Cleveland kids, there's only one place to go. And I was listening to a minute say this, and it's very true, actually. Ohio State's the choice. Bryce, I just want to go through this class real quick right now for Ohio State, okay? And I know everyone says, "Oh, Ohio State gets wide receivers and quarterbacks, and oh, that's cool." No. This is the guy. So our top recruit, number 2 recruit in the nation, who I think is actually going to challenge Julian Sayin next year for the position, even as a true freshman, Tavian St. Clair. Have you heard of him, Bryce?
I have.
Pretty sure. Okay, yeah, 6'4", 230 quarterback out of high school. Looks like Justin Fields. Then you talk about Devin Sanchez and Naheem Alford, the number 1 and 2 corners in the nation. Carter Lowe, the number 6 offensive tackle in the nation of Toledo, Ohio. Tarvos Alford, number 8 linebacker. Bryce, all these kids are top 100 kids. They're all top 100.
Yeah.
Then Bo Jackson, the number 3 running back in the nation, 6 foot, 205 pounds. And I could keep going over talking about Zaire, London, Nate Roberts. It's
Do you guys get Jordan Davison as well? You think?
I don't know. I think Oregon's gonna get him.
Yeah.
I think Oregon's gonna get him. But if we get everyone, if you want the number one reason why it's hard to fire Ryan Day, this is the reason.
Guy can recruit.
It's so that's why it's hard for me to have the conversation about it. But Bo Jackson, I am so excited about this because Ohio running backs are different when they come to Ohio State. It looks different. And I was very concerned about the running back depth going into next year. So this is huge news. He took his visits to Alabama and Georgia, then Bryce, what Ohio State does for recruiting visits are so different. Like they created videos for these kids.
I saw those. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, like I don't know what you guys are doing over in Ann Arbor, but you guys are, I think 5 recruits right now, 5 commits.
We're working on it. We're heating up here.
Yeah, okay. Where?
Garrison, turn off your headphones. I don't need to hear this. Michigan fans, you might have a point. We used to laugh at them for just having receivers. It's not just receivers. It's big quarterback, defense back, offensive tackle, linebacker, running back, edge, D line. And a tight end before you even get to a receiver.
2 safeties and a linebacker.
Okay. You can turn your headphones back on.
Oh no, I heard everything.
All right, well, good stuff.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say good stuff. Yeah, Michigan needs to get a recruit here. We can't go through June without one.
And
Sounds
you guys
like
just hired I think you guys just hired 8 or 10 recruiting analysts.
Yeah.
You just did that. Yeah.
We've reinforced the staff a little bit. So let's see some dividends get paid out here because we need some results. Because we'll talk about this ad nauseum. I know we will, but I'm not worried about this year. It's the next year, and I don't want to look too far ahead.
When those recruiting classes finally got to show up and play.
Well, that hasn't been an issue over the past couple of years.
Yeah,
but you lose a lot next year.
Yeah, Ohio State does too.
And can you replace it? Of course, guys can fill the gaps. A lot of people didn't know who Kenneth Grant was. A lot of people didn't know who Mason Graham was at this time last year. Fill those places. But, man, the 12-team playoff changes everything. You need depth. You need depth because when guys go down, you need to have those guys fill in the gaps. It's a long season, man. It's a long season now. Can be. Win a championship.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember I pray to God this never happens. I was listening to a show and they said if Will Johnson was to go down.
Ugh.
I can say if Burke went down, I'm not worried. I'm not
gonna fill that.
That's an easy fill. If Will Johnson were to go down,
yeah, that would not be good, Garrison. That would not be good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good stuff. See y'all again next week.
Man. OH.
Blue.